My dear students and friends, welcome to Nadeem Academy. Assalamu alaikum. So yesterday we were talking about the demand and we talked about that in quite detail. So we'll continue that chapter again and we're going to discuss. So today we'll be talking about the individual demand and market demand. So first, let's have a look. What does it mean by individual demand? It refers to the quantity of a commodity which a single individual is willing to buy at different prices in a given time period. It means, if you take a look for this definition, individual word itself is self-explanatory, right? It says when a single individual, it means, look at this word, you can find out single individual is willing to buy at different prices in a given time period. It means if a person is going to buy something, whatever the prices are there, so if one individual is going to buy any product, that could be considered as individual demand. That will be the demand of that particular person, right? The second is the market demand. So you take a look for the market demand. It refers to the total. So look at the difference of the words. In first, you saw individual. In the second, market word is mentioned. So market is the aggregate, or it's the total quantity of a commodity that all individuals, initially it was single, right? And here it is all individuals. So all individuals in the market are willing to buy at different prices in a given time period. The rest of the definition is the same, but here in market demand we are talking about the aggregate. For example, if in a market there are 10 people and all 10 are going to buy something and we get the aggregate of all 10, so it will give us the market demand, right? But if Mr. Ali is going to buy something in the market, so it will be the individual demand. So look at the second definition of market demand. It is the aggregate or sum of all individuals' demands who are purchasing in the market. So this is the second definition of the market demand. So dear friends, look at the demand schedule, individual demand schedule. So the definition is again given here, so you can read it out and look at the prices. We have two things like price and quantity demand. You can suppose this is the the individual demand of any sort of product. It can be like yesterday we talked about dairy milk chocolates. So the price is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So the quantity demand is 10, 8, 6, 4 and 2. So this is the individual demand. It is considered to be the demand of any person. It can be me or it could be any other person, you or any other person, right? So this is individual demand. Market demand, look at this. Now you can feel, because we said it is about it's about aggregate demand, right? So we have the prices 8, 7, 6, 5 and 4, and we suppose in a market there are 4 people, right? And these are the prices, given prices. So first is Shanza, Anusha, Naveed and Ali. So when price is 8, Shanza is purchasing 2 units of the product. Anusha is not willing to buy. Naveed purchased 1 unit. Ali purchased 2 units, right? When price decreased, now Shanza increased her purchasing from 2 to 3, because we already have discussed earlier that there is an inverse relationship between price and demand. Price decreases, demand increases. Price increases, demand decreases, right? So keep that thing in the mind as well. So keep continue, you can find out. Then price decreases 6, 5 and 4, and the quantity increases. Shanza 6, Anusha 4, Naveed 9, Ali 10. So these, if we take individually the prices and the Shanza's quantity demand or Anusha's quantity demand or Naveed's or Ali's, that will be individual. But when we add all these demands together, we'll get a market demand. For example, 2 plus 1, 3, plus 2, it's 5. It's market demand now, right? Because at price 8, Shanza, Anusha, Naveed and Ali are purchasing these different quantities of the products. So this is how we need to calculate the market demand or aggregate demand, right? When price decreased 7, Shanza increased from 2 to 3. So 3 plus 1, 4 plus 3, 7 plus 4, 11, right? So this is market demand again on price, given price, that is 7. So we keep on continuing. So this is the simple way I wanted to tell you that how to calculate the market demand. So you need to just add the individual demands, you'll be able to get market demand. So look at this. Now how will we calculate or add, prepare a graph for market demand? So I'm going to have the rough sketch of the graph, so you'll try your level best to go and do it, because I've given you the schedule in the previous slide, so you can practice it on by your own. So look at this. We have, suppose, x-axis and we have y-axis. We know on y-axis we have price, and on x-axis we have quantity demand, right? So, and here it is 0. So how I'll plot? Plotting the graph is quite simple. In previous video we talked about that how to plot a graph, right? In the law of demand, there's inverse relationship. So I'm not putting any sort of values here. I'll just prepare the market demand graph. For example, this is the demand line for Shanza. The second one is for Anusha, right? And the third one is for Naveed. The fourth one demand line is for Ali, and finally we'll get the market demand. So here we can plot market demand. If you follow the values, you'll be able to plot this graph easily. So my dear students and friends, now it seems quite easy how to plot this graph, right? So in the exams they might give you to calculate the market demand only and to plot this line only, so you can do as that, or they can give you the question to plot all individual demands along with the market demand. That will also possibility that the examiners might give you the question, so you need to be prepared for that. Market demand. So now look at this shift in the demand curve. So what are the factors which are going to shift the demand curve? Keep in mind one thing. Previously we talked about that change in demand and change in quantity demand. If you don't know, you can go and refer to my previous video, which the link is in the description. So you can watch that video in order to know what is the difference between quantity demand and change in demand and change in quantity demand, right? So here shift. I told you in that video that demand line only shifts due to other factors, right? So other factors are income. So look at this first one, income. A rise in a person's income will lead to an increase in demand shift to the right. It means if a person is having the income and income has increased, so it will give a shift to the rightwards to the demand line or demand curve, because now that person has got the purchasing power and he or she is able to buy more of the products of that same product, or it might be the different as well. So demand line shifts to the rightwards. So rightwards is considered as increase in demand, right? So look at this word, increase. Second one, a fall will lead to a decrease in demand for normal goods. Goods whose demand varies inversely with the income are called inferior goods. So there are types of the goods as well. So we talked about the types in the earlier video, so you can take a look at that in order to know what makes the difference as well. So a fall is going to shift the demand line towards left, right, or leftwards. So you can give, hey, this was initial demand. Now as an individual's income has decreased, he or she has started consuming less of the products or purchasing less of the quantity of the product. So you can plot it in a way. So I have just shown the rough schedule. You can go and plot the values, because how to show, because you need to follow the schedule. Remember one thing, you don't need to do anything by your own. You need to follow the schedule. These graphs will be automatically prepared. And so the demand as well. So remember this point as well. So the second one is consumer preference or the consumer taste. Favorable change leads to an increase in demand. Favorable change means positive change. Unfavorable change will cause demand to decrease. So I told you previously, so if the demand increases, it will shift to rightwards, right? And if it is gonna, you know, the preference is the unfavorable, it'll shift to the leftwards. So this is how it will be predicted in the demand curve. Then number of buyers, the more buyers lead to an increase in demand, fewer buyers lead to decrease. Same case, for example, if the number of buyers are increasing, so they'll come and purchase more of the product. So when they purchase more of the products, it will quite simply shift the demand line. The prices are the same, and now the number of buyers has increased in the market, so it will shift the market. Then we have price of related goods. So dear students, remember, related goods are of two types. Number one, substitutes. Number two, complement. Substitute are the goods which are replaceable to each other. For example, if I'm consuming the tea, I can replace the tea with the coffee, right, on the basis of the prices. So look at that, if the prices of coffee rises, if I'm consuming the coffee, I'll replace to the tea. If the price of a coffee rises, the demand for tea should increase. Why? Because now the coffee has become costlier and the tea comparatively has become cheaper. So we'll simply move from coffee to the tea. So the demand for the tea would increase and demand for the coffee would decrease, because now it has become costlier. Then we have complementary goods. Complementary goods are actually the goods which are essential for each other. For example, we have the vehicle and the petrol for that. So this is one of the examples of the complementary goods. So there are so many examples as well. For example, car, vehicle, and the fuel, and you might get any other example as well. So complementary goods are essential for each other. If the price of one product increases, the other product will automatically demand of another product will decrease. So prices of the related goods is again have impact on the shift. So it might increase or shift rightwards or the leftwards, the demand. Then we have expectations of the future. Future prices we are talking about, or the income. For example, if there is a customer who is purchasing something in the market and he has heard a news that in the near future there'll be a rise in the prices, so he'll go and buy the products in more quantity or the less quantity. For example, you often watch this when the petrol prices are expected to increase at the end of the month. So before that, consumers try to buy more, or if the petrol prices are decreasing, the people try to buy less. Similar examples might be possible if you want to take. For look at this, consumers' current demand will increase if they expect higher future prices. Same case, if the prices of the petrol in the future increase, so current demand would increase, because consumer knows, he's rational, he knows that he or she knows that our prices would increase. Why do I need to pay more, right? So future income, consumers' current demand will increase if they expect higher future incomes. Their demand will decrease if they expect lower future incomes. If future income is increasing higher, it means it is going to give confidence to the customer that I'll be able to buy more in the future. So he increases the demand. So when the demand increases, we all have already discussed that shifts the demand line toward the right side, right? And vice versa. If the future income decreases, expected to decrease, so the demand line will shift to the leftwards. So my dear students, I hope you understand today's very basic concept. So tomorrow I'll be talking about the elasticity of the demand, its types, and the degrees of the elasticity and how to calculate that. So stay tuned. Like this video, share this video, and give me a comment. Also, don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you very much. Till the next video.